Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for last night's 1-0 win on the road against Coventry at the Ricoh Arena. A game that we didn't want on, backs against the wall, youth team players amongst the squad. But still, we got the job done. Let's start by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett picked to get the job done. Okay, so a depleted squad, alright. A depleted bench, definitely. But a depleted first 11, not really. Definitely a strong starting 11. Of course, remember, you can't factor Jed Wallace into that because he's got a quad injury anyway and he's nothing to do with COVID. So he would have missed the game regardless. Not a million miles away from the team has played the last couple of games, and against Peterborough away, I think George Evans is in isolation. He's got COVID, and saying Jed missed the game. Other than that, it wasn't too many changes. Okay, on the bench you had Scott Malone and Benik Afobe. I said on social media pre-match that may have been a poor decision to play Bennett and Ojo over Scott Malone, both because they're nearly men. They both show flashes of brilliance, but both spend a lot of time on their arse. But what I maybe didn't factor into that is COVID. I'm sure that Afobe would have definitely been in and around it, and Scott Malone's usually one of the first names on the team sheet if fit. So maybe that also played its part. Of course, places on the bench as well for Nana Boateng under 23s, Besart Topoloj under 23s. Both of those I mentioned in my preview show. One that I didn't mention, one that I've never ever seen play and I've never heard of, so I'll hold my hands up in here on that one, is Zach Lovelace, under 18 startlet for the Lions, and he got his debut last night. So well done to Zach, the second youngest Millwall player of all time. I'd love to know who the first one was. Was it Curtis Weston? No, Curtis Weston was saying to do youngest FA Cup finalist. But anyway, if you know the answers, don't be shy, put it in the comments below, and no using Wikipedia to cheat. So, getting into the game, Coventry away. The Ricoh Arena is the same place that we went in 2017 during our promotion season, and a 2-0 win when it was just a soulless bowl with them throwing tennis balls on the pitch in protest at their owners. It's a different kettle of fish now. What an atmosphere last night. And I do take my hat off to the Coventry fans. Fuck the drum off. You don't need the drum. You're good enough without that. And they did make for a fantastic atmosphere, of course, as did our fans. Pay on the day saw our 800 go to around, I'm guessing, well over 1,000, probably near 1,200. And it was a brilliant game under the lights at the Ricoh Arena. And listen, Coventry, no mugs at all. Fantastic side in this division. Pop the ball well. Yes, they've been out of sorts, and that's now 5 defeats in their last 6. However, as I said in my previous show, they've had difficult games during that against, obviously, us, West Brom, Bournemouth, to name only 2. So they're a good side. They're very well drilled. They're very well organised. They're just sharp with their passing as well. They love to pop out from the goalkeeper. And I went into the game thinking we'd lose the game. I will put this on the screen. I actually backed us, and also backed Billy Mitchell anytime. So anytime you want to repay that debt bill at some point this season by getting on the score sheet, I would appreciate it. But yeah, I went for a Millwall win just before kick-off, because once you're there and the hype's building and you're excited, you just get sucked in. And I did back a 1-0 Millwall win from my haters saying that I said we'd lose. Maybe it's a bit of reverse psychology. Who knows? But I can't say we're going to win every week. But I'm over the moon that I got it wrong. In the first half, I honestly thought there only looked like one winner. We wasn't that poor. Again, people, some kids at full time said to me as I was walking down the concourse, Dan. So I've gone for it massively, and everyone's looked around and went, "You still fucking moaning now?" So, no, I wasn't moaning. And regardless of whether I'm on or not, I'm always there. You can't knock that. So, yeah, look, I didn't think it was too bad, at half-time even. A lot of people around me getting the arse ache with it. We didn't have a shot to the 38th minute, granted, but you can't always be on the front foot. You can't always be exciting and attacking. I think we proved in the second half that you can give the display that I want and that the fans want without also doing that as a whole, Half-time we got there, I just thought it was a little bit off the pace. I thought we gave the ball away a lot in the first half. Ojo and Bennett, so frustrating. Ojo clearly talented, clearly doesn't want to get hurt as well. That's why he's pulling out tackles. He's like Maradona 1 minute and Maradona the next, spending half the time on his arse. Like, it would take 7 players on in one movement, and then in the next, he'll be flat on his face. He just kept falling over. Bennett shows flashes of brilliance, but he keeps falling over. And they're just nearly men. And as a result of those two being our wide men and not getting balls into the box, and we do this as well. Murray Wallace I love, but he gets up the pitch a lot. he'll cut back 2-yard pass. No one seems to want to take the responsibility of putting that final ball in the box for Brayshaw to try and get on the end of. And in the first half as well, the reason that we kept losing possession and the ball kept coming back and we kept getting put under pressure and our midfield overloaded because a 2 midfield doesn't work. We need to play 3 in that midfield. Well, I said it doesn't work. We won the fucking game 1-0. So what do I know? But 2 in that midfield doesn't work with 2 wide men. You need 3 in that midfield. And it ain't fair on Billy Mitchell and George Saville. I thought George Saville was absolutely horrendous, by the way. They're just getting overrun. And that's exactly what happened in the first half. Any time we tried to get out, we was pinging balls out to Brayshaw, neck height, and he can't do anything with that. You know, he needs ball into feet. I was screaming last night, hit his feet, and at least try and get round him and try and get out of the pitch. But look, at half time, 0-0, away to a side that are very, very difficult to beat at their stadium. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad at all. Now we come out for the second half, and nothing really changed going forward. I didn't think. I just thought we was more alert, more compact, more on it, more aggressive, more tenacious. We had more intent to try and get out the pitch a little bit quicker. But I still thought that they kept the ball quite well, but we pressed very, very well. And then we started turning them over a few times and creating a few chances. Ojo one in, Saville shoots just over the bar. I think one from distance, Cooper balloons over the bar on his right foot. You can't knock him for trying it. He's scored them before, as we know, at Sheffield United away. And as it kept going, the longer it went, I said to my boss, we're going to end up winning this. Coventry stopped coming forward as an attacking sense. And make no mistake, by the way, I know they've had the better of the first half. I think they've only had one shot against Bart, which was lucky, and he did save it with his legs. I love Bart, back-to-back player of the season, of course. He looked shaky last night from the off, coming for crosses and missing them, dropping them. So he didn't have one of his busier nights, and I was grateful for that. But in the second half, there was virtually no attacking threat from Coventry. Off the top of my head, the only one I can think is one late shot deflects and Bart saves his near post. Maybe one cross that he comes and he does parry as well and should deal with it, doesn't. Danny Mack bails him out and gets rid of it. But as the game went on, as I said, we kept pushing, and then when the time was right, the substitutions were made, the introduction of Benik Afobe got him closer to Tom Bradshaw, and we got the breakthrough. Alex Pearce, by the way, I'll be the first to admit, and I'm sure a lot of you did, as did my boy did. He's now swearing at 15 years old. He went, oh, for fuck's sake, when he saw Alex Pearce was in the starting lineup. I myself also did that, and I'm sure a lot of you did. I take my absolute hat off to the skipper, and I'm going to give Rowett some credit for playing him, because he was a leader out there last night, going down as well in the box, trying to waste a little bit of time at points. Very experienced. I thought he was absolutely superb last night, and man of the match for me, Alex Pearce. And he's where the goal comes from. Free kick, up high, Cooper flicks it on. Afobe, should we say Afobe flicks one on? Off his shoulder, off his neck, off his earlobe. And it finds its way through to 6 in 8, Tom Bradshaw. And you can say what you like about me, about not liking Rowett, and I should be happy, and I got it wrong. One man I definitely didn't get wrong. Tom Bradshaw, 6 goals in 8 games. He's on hand, gets a little bit more time than he probably should have to bring it down and finish it. And it's 1-0, and it's absolute chaos in the away end. I could definitely smell a flare in there somewhere as well. I don't think that was us. My boy was really puzzled as to where that come from. He's always thrown a flare, that's muggy. I'm going to guess that the Coventry fans threw a flare in our direction as they didn't get to use it themselves. But I'm just guessing at that. I'm not blaming anyone. And it's 1-0. And we are on the way to a victory. And after that, we look comfortable. They never looked like threatening us, really. If I'm honest, Zach Lovelace comes on, of course, 15 years old. I thought he'd be on the bench and not get used. And he did come on. Good management again, that from Gary Rowett to get him on at the death for Tom Bradshaw. Scotland also come on. And for me saying what I said, pre-match, I'll hold my hands up in the air for that one again. That's 2. He looked off the pace him alone. But, listen, needs must. And this is, and for a hat-trick, raise my hands up in the air for this one, backs to the wall. It's typical Millwall. And to be honest, that's why I backed us at the game. Because I come to my senses and I thought, yeah, do you know what? It's a good night. We're going to win this game. And we did win the game. And the reason why is because that's typical Millwall. Remember back to Preston away, we had no manager, and Sean Williams and Alex Pearce took the side, and we got the job done. However, I'm going to bring it all the way back now. And for those saying, and for the guy that said to me, Dan, you're going to stop moaning now. I am not going to stop moaning, because I still strongly believe that Gary Rowett doesn't understand the ethos and the structure of our club and what we're all about, because I need to be careful what I say here. In football clubs, decisions will be made on certain things by certain people. The chairman will make decisions on finances on some things. The CEO will make decisions on other things. And the manager will make decisions on other things. Now, we tried to get that game called off last night. So I'm going to say that Gary Rowett didn't want to play that game. Which points back to the fact that I believe Gary Rowett has got no confidence in the players at our club. That could be a big shout. But Rowett wanted that game off. And it got played. And we won. So for me, not ideal in Rowett's mindset, but we got the job done. And again, this is what I said about these youngsters coming through. I think it's a perfect opportunity for football across the board to maybe even look at the structure of it and how it's working. I'm going a bit deep, I know, but these 23s and these, Zach Lovelace, he must be 10 foot tall walking around this morning when he goes back into school next week. And that was the chant, by the way, by the Mill fans. How shit must you be? He's only 15. I was laughing at that and singing along, but I thought, I wonder how he feels about that. But Zach, nothing against you. That was a little taunt, a little jibe at the Coventry fans, because we started out by singing How Shit Must You Be, we're winning away. And of course that was our first win since Barnsley away and a Murray Wallace last minute winner way back. Can't even remember when that was, although it's fucking freezing up in Barnsley, but it always is. Anyway, listen, we got the job done. We move within a point of Coventry. We move up to 11th place in the table, and we are only 3 points off 6th place in the final playoff spot going into the 2nd of January's game. I don't know what day that is. Is that Sunday? Away at Bristol City. And they're struggling. So can we build on it? Can we go back to back? Only time will tell. But listen, for this game, and for those that were saying we defended our way to victory, I get that. But at the same time, not really, because they didn't have a lot. They had a lot huff and puff, but no final products. A guy that kept shooting from 35 yards over the bar at the end, which I found personally hilarious. But this is what I'm saying. It hasn't always got to be exciting. It hasn't always got to be brilliant attacking football. As long as you put your body on the line and you fucking give everything, snot blowing, gum showing for that shirt, that's enough for us. That's enough for us, and it's enough for me. So, although I sometimes moan, we haven't really played... I didn't think we really played a Rowett-style way yesterday. Yeah, we was compact, but when we got forward, we created chances. And defending, I just thought we was fucking excellent. We was excellent without really being excellent. We didn't have to defend too much. We defended high, we pressed well, we kept turning them over, and we got the job done. But I will say this finally, before my full-time reaction, of course I think of things I'm going to say, and I sort of had it wind up to say, okay, cards on the table, good game. Was I overly excited during that game? Well, of course I was, because Tom Bradshaw scored a winner. If it had finished 0-0, I would have been happy with a point. Definitely in the circumstances. Would I have been like, that was brilliant, I was off my seat? When you go to football, listen, you want to be at your ordinary self, don't you? You want to be foam coming out your mouth, spitting feathers, giving it to away fans, fucking people off left, right and centre, on the pitch, off off your seat, jumping around, sweating, tears. And you don't always get that Millwall under Gary Rowett. And I didn't think we had that last night until we scored the goal, despite being a very, very good result. It would have been, but it got even better. 3 points on the road. Back to Bradshaw. He'll score goals. Listen, put balls in the box where he wants them, and he'll score your goals. Don't play him up front by himself, because he was completely elusive during the game, and that wasn't his fault. Balls in the neck right on the halfway line. Get a striker next to him. Put balls in the box. You do the math. Tom Bradshaw, 6 goals in 8 games. That's your lot for this post-match analysis. I hope that you have enjoyed it. There will be a preview show up for Bristol City away at some point. I don't even know what day it is at the minute, so I don't think I'll put out New Year's Eve tomorrow. I'll probably put out New Year's Day. You're probably going to be out partying. So enjoy the rest of 2021. Have a good time New Year's Eve. Don't get too absolutely at your cake. No, actually do. And make sure when you're hungover on the 1st, you land in bed, look on Lions TV, and I'll see you in 2022 for the first preview for Bristol City away. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.